Diabetes is a chronic condition affecting millions of people worldwide, and the numbers continue to climb. Managing type 2 diabetes is of particular concern for the African American community. Andrea Troutner, certified diabetes educator and registered dietitian at the Joslin Diabetes Center affiliate at Providence Hospital, was kind enough to join us in the studio today. Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, African Americans are twice as likely to be diagnosed with diabetes than whites. Why?
A lot of it is genetics. Their mom, their dad, their mom, their dad. Can be lifestyle, can be the type of food that they eat culturally.
Do we know what percentage is hereditary versus I'm doing it to myself with what I eat and being sedentary?
I would say probably 50-50.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of it is their current weight. So again, going back to how they eat, how they were raised to eat, some of those habits are hard to break, even if you're pre-warned or pre-diabetic. And we like to look at the person first and actually call them a person with diabetes happening to have a chronic disease known as diabetes.
And I also understand that African Americans are more likely to suffer complications from diabetes, such as renal disease and lower extremity amputations than whites. Again, is it because of healthcare issue, access to affordable care? Is that why?
A lot of it you did hit on, Angie. A lot of it is hypertension as the culprit. Unfortunately, they're at higher risk for high blood pressure, which can be a risk factor for diabetes as well as chronic renal disease.
And so why aren't African Americans, why are they at the later stages being diagnosed with some of these other problems? What has been the sticking point? Has it been access to medical care?
What I have seen, it's just not knowing the information, not knowing what they don't know. And again, as you've highlighted, the access.
So you could have stuff going on in your body and you don't know why, and you just keep ignoring it. And do we think the Affordable Care Act, now that more people are insured, do you think that could possibly help with the complications?
I do. I really do believe that, yes.
Tell me about the Joslin Diabetes Center that Providence Hospital is affiliated with.
We are part of a nationwide network of affiliates, so you can get the care closer to home. It originates in headquarters in Boston, so it's quite a ways to have to go there.
It's Harvard, right?
Yes, right outside of Harvard. And so as an affiliate, we have all the protocols we need to be the innovator, so to speak, and be the upper hand in providing the management for people's diabetes. The key principles is that the patient be involved, educated, and empowered. That is the slogan for Joslin Diabetes.
And that is what needs to happen. You have to be responsible for your own medical care.
Absolutely.
And you have to be informed. Now, we know that 90 to 95% of diabetics are type 2 diabetes, which is about 26 million people. So let's talk quickly about type 1 diabetes. What is that?
Type 1 is when the pancreas just shuts down for unknown reasons. And so the only protocol managing their diabetes is not only diet and activity, but it must be some form of insulin, exogenous insulin. So that is the difference between the person with type 1 and type 2. Whereas type 2, you have a functioning pancreas. It just doesn't work as well as it used to.
So type 1 is more severe?
Not necessarily. It's just that the protocol for medication is not an option. You have to be on medication. Whereas a person with type 2 diabetes may feel perfectly fine and be able to manage their diabetes with just diet and activity. And if that's not working, then we add medication.
Okay, tell me, what are the symptoms we need to be looking out for?
The symptoms, first and foremost, is that I'm very thirsty all the time. Therefore, I need to go to the bathroom all the time. I'm fatigued and tired all the time.
And are you urinating all the time?
You are. You are. I mean, it is like 24/7.
Okay.
And unintentional weight loss, which for some reason, some people, that's a good thing.
It's like I've lost weight, eureka, yay!
But unfortunately, not the way we would want you to.
Okay.
And I'm talking a severe amount, like in a short period of time.
Okay, so we're talking 50 pounds.
It could be. Yes, a lot of weight in a short period of time. Again, unintentional. It's just coming off.
Okay, so we've got weight loss, we've got thirsty, a lot of urination. What else?
Just really tired. I have no energy to do anything.
And the problem is a lot of these symptoms, like the fatigue, you know, are symptoms for so many other things.
Exactly.
But again, you can't ignore it.
Exactly.
The minute you're feeling, oh, I'm not used to feeling fatigued, I work out all the time, go to the doctor.
Well, yeah. Oh, and also, we'll say, well, are you having any problems with keeping food down? You know, do you feel like you're hungry all the time and never full?
Oh, is that another one?
That's satiety issue just is not there because they just can't get enough calories.
Wow. That's I think a lot of us wish that we could, so can you eat anything?
While you're under the care of a physician and
yeah, and when I say anything, I mean like anything that's good for you. Can you eat a lot of it?
We, after you've been diagnosed, we put you on some form of a meal plan, but we want to give you the education you need to be empowered to make the right food choices. So basically, I will say there's no food you can never have that you can't ever have again. You just learn to fit those foods into your meal plan on a daily basis.
So what happens to make me diabetic? What is the insulin doing and all that?
It's just not responding to when we eat. On normal circumstances, we're able to break down this food into the simplest form of energy known as glucose. I call it the gasoline for your car. And so when you have diabetes, it's just not working as well as it can. Some of the breakdown of the simplest form of energy known as glucose is getting in and out of the cell from the bloodstream, and some isn't. So what do we really call diabetes? A chronic disease of high blood sugar. It's like a flood in a basement with no door to get out of the water to get out, so it just keeps rising.
So tell me, what is a diet plan for me? If you were right now, we're gonna, say, all right, Angela, you've got diabetes. Here's what you can do, and here's what you can't do.
I would ask you to try to eat 3 meals a day, 4 to 6 hours apart. I would say, could you please think about adding a fruit at every meal and not as a snack or beverage of choice. I would try to keep your calorie levels within a 45% of your total calories, so everything has carbohydrate except meats and fats. I would keep your protein about 20% and your fat less than 30.
So why are these percentages so important if you're diabetic?
They're important because we're at 3 times risk in developing heart disease just because we are a person with diabetes. So we want to, if we don't have the higher than normal lipid panel, such as a high cholesterol, we want to prevent it before it's too late. So we're again asking you to think about whole grains, sort of the plate method, so to speak.
Not the Mediterranean.
The Mediterranean is very good.
And that's a lot of fish and vegetables, that kind of stuff.
And good fats.
Good, like the olive oil, put your fish in that and your vegetables, stir it up.
But it doesn't give you a license to have however much you want. And I think that's where the Mediterranean diet kind of excuses people. If it's a good fat, I can eat it and have as much as I want. And we got to look at all of the macronutrients in there.
Well, I think I always get freaked out, and I think I only have one person on my mother's side of the family who had diabetes, my Aunt Carolyn, but I always get nervous if I see someone I know who has diabetes, if they even look like they're going towards a sweet. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, something bad's gonna happen. But can you have sweet?
I encourage it. You fit it into your meal, because if I told you you could never have anything, a certain food again, what would you want? More of it.
I want so
much
I
use the
sweets
reverse
right now, you have no idea.
You fit it into your meal plan, and we teach you how through carbohydrate counting.
Andrea Troutner, thank you so much with the Joslin Diabetes Center affiliate at Providence Hospital. Thank you for educating us about diabetes. And if you do need any assistance, I would encourage you guys to go to the Joslin Diabetes Center there at Providence Hospital, because they are trained and set up to help you develop a better lifestyle.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Remembering the life and legacy of legendary soul singer Bobby Womack. Stay with us.